you're living with a family, especially depending on how big your family is, and especially where you're living. This is Japan, so I'm not entirely familiar with the marital taxes, how those work, but it's different. I know if you were here in America, so I'm going to use American metrics. If you were here in America and you made about $60,000 annually, and you filed jointly with a spouse, your spouse would probably still have to work in order for you to own a house, unless you were living in an apartment and it was just you two. But if you're married, you'll probably have a kid on the way. So you're probably that 60,000, and your wife has to work as well, just to send your kid to a decent school, just so that way are actually trying to live out the American dream. So, and you're still in an apartment. This is like you're doing the bare minimum, but you're working for a multi-million-dollar company. Bro, that's so fucked up. There is no way you can convince me that I need to buy a Switch 2 for what, $400? $400? I think it's about $400. $500. Then I need to pay $70 for a game that should cost $60. And the people who are making the game are living exactly the same as I am. This is some bullshit. And the people at the top who are really just responsible for owning the IP and I guess making the executive decisions, but a lot of the time CEOs don't even make executive decisions. They just kind of like sit back and let other people make executive decisions. You're making like hand over fist 10 times as much as me. You cannot convince me that somebody who is making $6 million a year, right, should be raising the game price of a $60 game 6% onto the consumer, and they don't even give their employees a 6% raise or even a 5% raise, bare minimum, because inflation is real, and the people who feel inflation the most are the people who are getting paid the least. So your own employees who are feeling the inflation that you are using as a catalyst to raise your prices, the people who are feeling it the most, you're not even giving them anything to combat the inflation. And I know this is real because it's stuff that other people who have worked in different industries, it's stuff that people who have worked in other industries have told me they experience constantly. Tech workers, software engineers, mechanics. I talk to these people. They tell me, bro, I get the same increase in my paycheck every single year, but inflation is growing every single year with it. They give me a 1%, a 2% increase, and inflation grows by 5%. I can't fucking afford the cost of eggs anymore. What is going on? That's my point. This is why I cannot endorse like anything Nintendo is doing right now. I see all these people on the internet. They're buying Switches. They're buying Pokemon. They're buying Donkey Kong. I'm like, y'all are the fucking problem. You motherfuckers are the problem. You have created a situation where your own audience is going to shout to the highest heavens and blow the loudest horns, and you are not going to listen because they will keep watching if you buy it. And if you buy it and you say, it's good enough because you know you're making money off of it, they go out and buy it. They buy it. They barely enjoy it because it's barely enjoyable, because you know it's barely enjoyable. You've played the shit. You don't even like it that much. And then you're shilling it. And then these companies keep raising the prices because they know these niggas are gonna keep buying it. I despise people with no backbone, with no foresight, with no average level of intelligence when it comes to forward thinking. It's hard for me to sit here and watch the world rotate into a death spiral. It makes me mad. It makes me mad. It makes me get on the internet and want to do a rant. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just spent the last 20 minutes ranting. I'm not even done with my rant, honestly, because that's just the surface. We're talking about software engineers. What about the hardware engineers? What about the people who are the developers? What about the people who do the oversight? What about the smaller guys like the janitors who come in and clean up these big ass buildings? You got to pay them. They barely even make enough to pay for them to feed themselves, and they live in the fucking bare minimum of lifestyle. They live as frugal as possible. You know what I mean? Like, they eat $2 ramen packets and they live in an apartment that costs like $300 a month, and they can't even afford that barely because you motherfuckers are running shit up. I swear, the easiest hustle to get into is the hustle the government sets up. But the most destructive hustle to get into is the one the government sets up. I promise you, every single person right now who is playing Pokemon Legends ZA, if it was the 70s and the 60s, they would have been selling crack cocaine. I 100% guarantee it. These are people with no backbone. These are people with no real forward thought as to what their behavior will incite in the future, what it will create, what it causes. By the end of their lifetime, they will look back and they will have to defend their argument with, well, these people decided to do this. It wasn't my fault they bought this bullshit from me. They decided to buy it. And they're going to die with regrets. They're going to die feeling sour. Probably not sour. They're going to die feeling, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to die feeling like an emptiness. I forget what the word is I'm looking for. But emptiness is probably a good summary of what I'm trying to express. Do not live a life where you have to look back and justify your own actions. Please, I promise, you will have a much better old age if you do things now that you look back on and you're like, I was on the right side of history. You know what I mean? I was doing dope shit. I was on the right side of history. I don't think that what I did, or I know even better, not I don't think, but I know that what I did never fucked anybody else up. And that's the real. That's the whole real. Do shit that you know won't fuck other people up. Because in all reality, you will always feel good if you never fuck with other people's money. You will always feel good if you never fuck with other people's money. If you don't support big businesses who are underpaying their employees, you are directly fucking with the employees' money by supporting a big business and telling them, I'll pay whatever for this product regardless of what you do. Because truth be told, that's fucking with the employees' money. By not stepping out or stepping back and putting a product aside in order to advocate for better business practice, you are fucking up the small guy's money. It might seem kind of roundabout, You don't even have to think about it too hard to understand it, though. Because if you step back, right? You step back from the situation. You're like, I'm not going to support this kind of bullshit. I know bullshit when it's being sold to me. I'm not going to buy bullshit. Big businesses see that. They notice when their product's not moving. They notice when they're not making money. That's the only thing they notice. That's the only language that they talk. They see you not buying stuff. They're like, well, why is nobody buying our shit? You say, I'm not buying your shit because I could pick so many examples. I'm not buying your shit because it runs off slave labor, because you underplay your employees, because you have a ecologically destructive business model or an ecologically destructive business model. You are relying on the consumer to give you a bigger paycheck, and you are not paying people with a smaller paycheck what they're worth. If you step back and show that is your reason why you're stepping back, they have no choice but to either say, okay, we have to change what we're selling, or we have to change how we're selling. You do that, these people change everything about their business model. That's why I also don't support AI. I don't support AI art. I'll be specific. I don't support AI art. I support AI being used for research purposes. I support AI being used for mathematics. And I think I'll support those two for now, because I need to go into further depth of what AI is capable of before I say anything related to social research. But as far as mathematics goes, and as far as research purposes goes, like synthesizing a large amount of information into a compound, more direct, succinct, structure of like understanding, I support that. I do not support anything related to AI generated art, videos, photos, any of that. Because what's going to happen? What's going to happen when yo X gets a hold of an AI generating video software, and AI generates you sleeping with your new significant other's best friend, and shows it to your significant other, and she thinks it's real? What then? What do you do? What do you do? What are you going to do? Say it was AI generated? No SO believes that. No significant other believes that. Yo, bitch, don't believe it, nigga. Yo, bitch does not believe that. She gonna leave you on the spot. She sees even the inkling that you was being dishonest and disloyal. She gonna start doubting. He gonna start doubting. It doesn't matter who, what, or how. The other person is gonna start doubting. Because the video looks too good, because AI doesn't get regulated, because you niggas do not stop before the virus spread like wildfire. That's the danger. That's the real problem. It invalidates everything that is video or photographically probable for evidence. Even the police can start saying, oh, our servers must have been hacked. That's AI generated. We have no such video that